All right, good news, bad news. I have hacked the code. I'm being attacked by this light. I have uncovered all how to do all the problems things. Okay. If you're like me, you've been frustrated with family members and even friends, and like, why aren't you evolving? Why aren't you interested in like understanding yourself more? Bloody, bloody, bloody. And you might use a lot of your energy to educate, and then you research, and like, yeah, stuff relates to you, and that's great that they're mirroring what you can learn about yourself, but then you want them to do it. And wouldn't it be nice if they were the ones that knew everything and practiced and modeled everything, and you could learn from them? If that's you, here's the good news, bad news. Because I have focused on, let me give you information about yourself, and then you would want to do something about it. But it doesn't start there. If we really want to support those around us, see, here's the difference. There's a thing. Are you wanting to support them, or do you want them to stop irritating you, and you are really after your own support and creating, for your own needs? So that's the first thing. Heads up, bad news, good news, bad news. Because good news, that's in your own wheelhouse and capacity to influence because it's you. And bad news, you can't push it off on someone else anymore because now you're enlightened and you know the difference. So if what we say we're after is supporting others, we just want the best for those around us, kind of hand holding with like, we don't want them to irritate us as much anymore. There's a huge gap between where they are and where we want them to be. That is a great sign that they need just regulated nervous system attention. So it's like you could tell them that, but the act of telling someone you need to regulate your nervous system is an affront. It's an attack. It's a demand. It's stressful. It is information, and it's not an experience. So this is what I'm thinking this will look like. Irritating family member person who's like emotionally immature or talking about stuff in a negative way all the time. Their hobby is to complain. You focused on nervous system regulation. Like, focus on your own first. If that's too much for you, get the fuck away from there and do things to regulate your own nervous system. That is the way you can manually manipulate your nervous system, is through breath, is through pressure right below your collarbone, even putting ice there, is looking left and right to the extreme that you can, like for 30 seconds on each side, or until you yawn. Like, you can physically manipulate your nervous system, which is nice because it's shorter cut than talking it out and thinking it out and feeling it out, like with your brain, like nervous system regulation. So how do you offer that to someone else? Telling them, as I said, could be feeling like it's judgmental, like, why am I not already doing it? And if someone, as part of their trauma response or brain wiring, has PDA, pathological demand avoidance, what we like to call it, those of us who have it, is persistent drive for autonomy, and you give me a demand, I'm going to be a big fuck you to that. Like, that's how it works. It automatically clicks. And I have to do a lot of work to step around that automatic click in my head to be like, fuck no, get the fuck away from me. So what if the person you want to help has that, and you are saying what you think are helpful things, but they actually land as demands, and that increases the anxiety and so you're not helping them, you're putting them deeper into a dysregulated state. So if someone likes complaining, or it appears they do, or that's what they always do, be like, yeah, that's tough. Oh, your haircut didn't go as you wanted. Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard to experience. Yes. But you're saying this in a way acknowledging that, yes, that is a challenge that you just navigated. And you're focused on creating the softest openness space where you're essentially acknowledging their whatever scared inner child, the part of them that never gets acknowledged, that never gets to speak up. You are helping acknowledge that. So you're not trying to shift or change anything. You're attempting to co-regulate with them where they're at. So if this feels too much like a lie for you and you can't help but say, here's what's different you should do, you can't, here's the boundaries, stop, do this, do that, then that's back on your side of the street. And I don't want to break the news to you, but that's your opportunity to attend to your own regulation needs. Like, that's a great flag that says, hey, you're not ready to show up this way for someone else. You still need to acknowledge your own inner hurt entity of yourself. And that's very important too. That's super important. That's the most important, because if we are lugging around the hurt and pain of a part of us we're not acknowledging, that's going to start fermenting and rotting and showing up in how we interact with other people and ourselves. So regulating your nervous system, regulating someone else's nervous system, like, you can't regulate it for them, but you could create a space where you're not creating more dysregulation. And what else was I going to say? Like, you're not telling them what to do and how to do it. You're being the experience. You're being the experience of no pressure, no demand, no conflict, no disagreement, no devil's advocate, no judgment, no, like, what if you try it this way? No suggestions, no advice. The absence of all of that is the closest guarantee to being in a space of rest. And rest and digest is the catchphrase of the regulated nervous system. So I'm even practicing this as far as, like, you are not honoring my boundary. Like, if it's something I have other tools to regulate with, and it's very clear that telling the other person this is my boundary isn't making a difference, I can move on to understanding they're not honoring my boundaries, so I need to take action on my own behalf to keep my own nervous system regulated, and only expose myself to possible boundary violation when I have capacity, resilience, spoons for that. And if I'm exposed to that, I'd be like, yeah, that must be tough. Or, oh gosh, that is a lot of whatever that is the subject I said I didn't want to talk about with you. But just acknowledging. So this will be my experiment. I've done a bit of it. It tracks with what I've learned from it in the past, what not to do. I'd love to hear if you've done anything similar like this. I have not been officially trained in any trauma response stuff, like officially. I've studied it on my own, and I'm thinking this is in alignment with being in that role, the space to offer someone in a trauma response or with chronic trauma is like, what's the path back to autonomy where you don't feel out of control and victimizable. And so even like gentle suggestions of like, did you drink water, could feel like too much to take in when someone's nervous system is already overloaded, and they just need to be the boss of them. So let me know your thoughts. Are you going to try this with me? Have you tried something similar? Do you have a better idea? Let me know. Mwah.